All right, welcome to the building committee meeting. We're looking for approval of the November 4th building committee minutes.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We are up for Mr. Toddy's show.
Good evening, hello. I'm trying to get to a place where I can see everybody. So facilities update. Custodial staff were ongoing cleaning, disinfecting. Again, disinfecting is trumping cleaning. Those are two different functions. They're very similar and related, but we prefer to be doing cleaning, but the world has it such that we're doing disinfecting. Custodians are working on 1-inch filter changes, just finishing that up, and we're still struggling to hire staff in the custodial place. We've got grant-funded positions that we haven't been able to fill. It seems we get somebody in and we get somebody out. It seems one in, one out has kind of been where we're at. The grounds crew has finished up the leaf cleanup. We're ready for the winter, and the maintenance crew has completed a change of all the 2-inch filters. These are the larger filters in the larger equipment on the rooftops and bigger service equipment. Quick kitchen update, the Chamberlain serving line equipment has been ordered. We wanted to replace the floor underneath it at the same time that we replaced the serving line. That has become an abatement project, though, that we'll look to do that over the summer. So we'll receive that equipment and probably have to store it until the summer when we'll get it installed. We received and finished installed and now have operational a new dishwasher at Nancy Loud School. We did some air quality testing to follow up on the problems that we had in the modulars earlier. We did additional mold testing, but we also did a full battery of indoor air quality to include, they look at RH and particulate count and CO and just the full environmental package in there, and everything came back great. The spaces look good. Air quality improvement project, this is the ESSER funded project across the district, and today we hit a milestone. We submitted our first request for final approval. So the process goes, you have to submit and get conceptual approval for everything. Once you get that, you can do a bunch of paperwork and submit it. Just to give you an idea of what took so long is this, for one this is the submittal for one building out of 11 buildings that we have. This is a historic review, and there's the actual application, set of controls drawings with fire department review, ADA compliance review, floodplain review. It's just an enormous amount of paperwork. There's about 4 pounds of paper right there. And it's in for the first one, and hopefully we'll get many more submitted soon and just keep pushing on that front. While we're speaking of grants, we were able to apply for CDBG, Community Development Block Grants. I submitted 3 applications. One is for improved parking at the Maple Street Magnet School to ease some of the overburden there. It's kind of a large project. I don't think CDBG would fund it necessarily, but it did get us started into a conversation with the city. Has some interest in perhaps improving crosswalks in the area, and maybe we'll be able to work with Mr. Bezanson and I together on a project that would serve everyone's needs. The other applications went in for automated messaging boards, signs that you can send scroll lines and messages to. We're hoping to put one at the Spaulding High School outside the cafeteria along Wakefield Street. We'll see what that happens. And if that's successful, we would consider another one perhaps at McClelland School to have some messaging capability on Brock Street. Love to see them someday at all the schools, but not all the schools would be eligible for a CDBG money. So we're starting where we have perhaps some federal money available. Band and chorus floor, it's reoccupied, band and chorus, yay. We're going to make some relief cuts in that floor over Christmas break and see where that leaves us next humid season. The floor has failed, hopefully the relief cuts will do what we want to do. If not, we're going to be getting into a much, much larger project there, which is probably something we should be talking about for future work anyway. Spaulding High School Auditorium. We have a current bonded line of auditorium improvements, and the first phase of that was we did the stage curtains and the steps on either side of the stage. The next phase of that, we did the draperies in the room. And the last piece of that with fund money that we still have available was to look at the floor across the whole stage. And what we're noticing is, this is backstage on the side, all these ropes come down to these anchor points. And that floor under there is starting to fail. So we've got to start digging into that and get that repaired and get those anchor points secure. Spaulding High School CTE exterior sealant project is underway. They're not really worried about weather. The sealant product that they apply can be applied down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the people quit working long before the sealant does. So we'll stay with that until we can't go any further. This is a climbing volcano at the McClelland School. And I just want to share it with you to, you know, sometimes the prices of these things are boggling to me. We can see there's a handholds all up and down this piece of fiberglass plastic. One of them failed right here. And we patched it and put some fiberglass patch in there, riveted a piece of metal behind it and patched it up. And that, the repairs lasted, but another one failed. That tells me that many more might be ready to fail. So the piece of equipment's not safe, it has to go. So we got a quote from the manufacturer for that piece of plastic. $7,137.77. Can't buy it from anyone else. It has to be the one that goes with that playground. Can't make something and fabricate it, because if you make your own thing, it has none of the ratings of playground safety from review agencies. It's not rated, so it's, I share that just as an educational thing. When we looked at, we've spent $100,000 replacing a playground at William Allen School, and one component is $7,000. Is there a question, sir?
If I may, my experience with playgrounds is there could be other things from the same manufacturer too. Have you looked into that?
That's exactly what we're looking into, to find the manufacturer can have something else that would bolt on to that same pattern and give us something else. We're definitely exploring that.
Okay, thank you.
Avenue.
Oh, I have a question. How old is that specific volcano?
I don't know off the top of my head. It was
Curious.
there before I started working here, so I would guess it's probably 12 years old.
Okay.
Just looking at it, that
So
seems
it's
about
over
right.
10 years.
I think it's over 10, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Has school real talk or done anything to tell kids they can't be on it until the decision's been made, or?
Right now, we look okay. So if we lose another one, we'll take it down, shut it down.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Maple Street Magnet School ash trees. There are 4 ash trees at the Maple Street Magnet School. You guys have heard of the emerald ash borer. I've heard about it for years now. I've never really experienced it. Well, we're experiencing it now. We've got 4 trees that are infected, and you can see the way we know they're infected. This area of bark is what it's supposed to look like. And this area of bark, you start to see these whitish stripes. It's called blonding. You can see a lot more blonding in this tree. The white bark, the exterior of the bark is falling off, and it's happening because the bugs are up inside the tree, eating it from the inside out. So we had the UNH Cooperative Extension, as well as the New Hampshire Department of Land and Forestry. They looked at it and said, yeah, this is the diagnosis. 2 of the trees are beyond saving. We're looking into hopefully trying to save 2 of the trees with help from UNH Cooperative Extension and the New Hampshire Department of Land and Forest. I'm not sure if we can't get them to do it, how much funds we want to commit to saving the trees, or do we just cut them down? You know, if they want to come save our trees on their dime, I'll gladly entertain having them do it. If not, we'll probably have another conversation soon. While we're talking about trees, these ash trees they're not that big and they're not that old, so I wouldn't be heartbroken if we lost a couple of them. But the linden trees in front of the high school were original plantings, 1939, and they're, in my estimation, an integral part of that school. One of the trees, the closest one to, it's on Wakefield Street side at the cafeteria sports field entrance. That tree was cut when the addition for the cafeteria and art room went on, what we call the water ring. The linden tree has about a 60-foot canopy, and we built within about 30 feet of that tree. So when that addition went in, it kind of sealed the death knell for that tree. If you've driven by it at all over the past 2 years, you've seen it, it looks like heck. So we're going to have that one removed. But we'll continue to talk to arborists and see about saving those trees. At some point, I'm going to be talking to you people about what do we want to do to replace them, right? Do we want to put, if I lose one, do I put another linden tree there? Do we go to a maple tree? What is the path forward for those? And those trees are so important that I'm not making that decision, you guys are. That's part of the community that I really think you guys need to be involved with. So just wanted to let you know we're looking at that and monitoring it. And so sad news on trees, but I'll give you my last slide is a piece of what I think is a piece of happy news. This is a class gift from 2019. It sat in the barn. It was originally, the students' plan was to install it outside, but their plan wasn't really kind of thought through where they wanted to install it. There was a ton of cement in the way. The item is made out of mild rolled steel, so it's just prone to rust. If you put that outside, it's going to rust immediately. You're going to need to repaint it constantly. The rust is going to drip and stain the surface below it. So we sat on it through COVID, and we finally got it together. It came in 3 pieces. We welded it together, put a finish on it in-house. We did all that painting right out back here. It's got a beautiful finish on it, and we got it installed over the Thanksgiving break. So welcome to Spaulding High School, home of the Raiders. The paint below it isn't quite centered on the arch. The arch is centered in the space. The paint is not. When the paint went on, they didn't really center on anything. So we'll probably talk about repainting that soon to get it kind of lined up so it looks solid. That whole space changed. So if you remember, this used to be an atrium. This wall wasn't here. This was glass where I'm standing taking that picture. I would have been in the foyer of the building. So the whole, where is center has changed over the years. But anyway, that's where we're at with that, and I think it looks great. Work orders for the period of November 4th through December 2nd. We completed 134, which is up from 121. We created 109, down from 118. Gives us a close ratio of 1.23 to 1, which is up from 1.03 to 1. We now have open 138 work orders, which is down from 160. If you're writing the math down, you'll note that 160 work orders we used to have open, minus 134 that we closed, left 26 work orders. We open 109 work orders. We should have 135 work orders. We have 138 work orders. I know. Long before COVID started, I spoke to this board about the maintenance software that we use. And it's really designed, it's web help desk. It's not designed to track work orders for maintenance jobs. It's designed to track computers and who gets a hard drive when. So the system isn't really doing everything that we want it to. So part of that problem is time of day. While I'm putting my report together, the numbers are changing. And then there's also different groups, like facilities is a group within, and there's my work orders and assigned work orders and your work orders, and the software just really doesn't do everything that we want it to. So if anyone's doing the math, I am aware that the numbers don't quite add up. There's usually a little bit of a margin of error in there. And that's all I have for facilities update. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Todd? All right. Moving to item 3, Spaulding High School Field Storage Building Update.
Okay, so you guys will probably remember we have a current bonded CIP line 21107, and that line was put together pre-COVID, and then COVID hit and the cost of things went crazy, and we tried to bid out the steel building that we wanted and found that we didn't have anywhere nearly enough money. So we're in the process of rebidding that. Just want to put that on your radar. And we're getting some structural design for the same 40 by 60 building in wood frame. New cement foundation, wood frame, asphalt shingle roof. And this pavement lineup, this isn't quite representative, but this would be Wakefield Street. This would be the entrance to the community center. The building sits right here. This is where that little basketball court is. It's right where the other building used to sit. And stay tuned on that. Hopefully we'll The target now is to have design done by January, and get it by the beginning of January, get a bid out, and hopefully be back talking to this committee in February meeting to have something, path forward for that work.
Mr. Lynch?
Just, Charlie, what's the height of that? 40 by 60, what are you trying to make the height line? I can't read the numbers.
This is it's a 10-foot door,
Okay.
so the height of the building is gonna be
12, 14 feet probably.
probably a little bit more than that. Probably closer to 15 feet. But it's a 10-foot high door is what we're looking at. And this drawing is conceptual, so whatever that says, even if, nobody will build off of this. This is just to show people what we're talking about. The actual structural design will have all those measurements down to the zillionth of an inch.
Any other questions from Mr. Todd? All right, item 4, public comment. We're going to open public comment and close it as well. Item 5, other. Hearing and seeing nothing for other, we'll move to item 6, motion to adjourn is being looked for. Second. We have a second?
Second.
All right, sorry, I didn't hear you, Mr. Munn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much.